I'm here with Tom Wohlgemuth. He's an expert in forest ecology, and he has studied extensively disturbances and their impacts on landscapes. Now, Tom, could you tell us what happened on the site here?
Actually, this is a classical windthrow site that was produced by the winter storm Lothar that took place in 1999 at Christmas time. It produced the damage in Switzerland, a total of 14 million cubic meter of damaged wood. And so we are here in one of these patches. During that storm, within only 30 minutes, this area was fully broken down. So the tall trees, 30, 40 meters tall, they broke down like nothing.
I could imagine that something happened with the vegetation after the big wind throw. Can you explain us a little bit the succession of after the wind throw?
Okay, one part of the succession was that foresters took away the logs in the first 2 years after this event, and what left behind was then a forest floor with some original plant, with some regeneration, but also with room for recolonization by other plants. So in the first 2 years we observed like a development towards a high biodiversity of plants and animals, also insects. And so here in the lowlands of Switzerland, this diversity just decreased after 2 or 3 years again, because some of the species started to dominate this area.
Now, for the audience, Tom is also an expert in fire disturbances, and he studied the biggest fire that occurred in Switzerland, 2003. It was the fire in Leuk. Can you tell us what's different between a fire disturbance and a wind throw or a wind disturbance on the site here?
Mm-hmm. So in the wind throw area, we have only a disturbance of the tree layer. That means that tall trees break down and are afterwards removed usually. And in the forest fire, usually we have a crown fire that is so intensive that the whole vegetation on the forest floor is also consumed by the fire. So this means that we have a tabula rasa situation where we have no regeneration left, where we have no vegetation left. So all the species, animal species, tree species, have to recolonize this area. So it is a fully different situation.
Now, what's the knowledge gain in this big fire and in the research on the big fire in Leuk?
Well, the big fire was really that big that we analyzed an area of about 300 hectares. And on 300 hectares, we have long distances from the forest edge to the inner parts of like the demolished forest. So we found that regeneration pattern in the center part of this area is more stochastical than the regeneration at the forest edges. So this is related to the seed dispersal traits of the different tree species and the colonization patterns of different tree species.
Mm-hmm. So with the colonization of tree species, you probably found also some highlights in the fire in Leuk. I remember telling me something about a special plant. That grew in the past and never grew then again.
A special plant that turned the whole area from 900 meters to 2,100 meters at the tree line in red color. What is this plant? It was the strawberry blight, Erdbeerspinat, which just occurred out of nothing. So it turned out that this species was grown in the villages below this forest fire 200 years ago. It was a cultural plant used as a spinac, and it was then distributed by goats that were browsing in these forests for centuries, during a long time. And only this fire disturbance excavated the seeds, and also the open area made them germinate. So out of nothing, we had a germination of so many plants that 50% of the whole area was covered by strawberry blight.
What can you tell practice from these events?
Mm-hmm. So one good result of this research is that regeneration of forests, this is a matter of time. Depending on the precipitation, on the average precipitation in an area, forest will regrow within some decades. And we thought in this dry part of the valley, forest won't come back so easily. But it turned out that we are usually not so patient to wait on the forests. But forest will return in a matter of some years. And the other thing is biodiversity, as we saw in this area, was that huge, that unique. I mean, this disturbance is really positive connotated for biodiversity, I would say. Negative in the linguistic sense, but positive for biodiversity.
I heard that you have a book in the pipeline. Can you tell us more?
The book is called Disturbance Ecology, and we call it Revolution of Plant Communities, because this is a big difference between evolution, like the normal succession of vegetation that takes place, for instance, in a forest, steady growing. In contrast, the disturbance is type of a revolution that sets back the vegetation to a tabula rasa situation, and species can compete for the open space.
Thank you, Tom, for this interview. We hope that your research will go as planned and that your book will come out soon. Revolution or evolution?
Thank you
very much.
Thank you.